Welcome to another episode of Is This for Kids? I'm Jonathan Beard of Blevins, father of 4, and I think that most media marketed towards children is downright pathetic.
All right, and I am Katie, MrsRuvi, and I think most of the media marketed toward kids can be redeemed if you're ready to have the right kind of conversations. Like the whole point of this podcast, right? So we tell people what content we're looking at, what's in it that you might want to shield your kid from, how you can shepherd them through the things that come up, and then, how you can use this media to share in your kids' life.
Well, today we're talking about a movie that you have repeatedly said in the last few episodes that you do not want to see, that you will not watch it, that it's going to be garbage. And I was with you. I was not looking forward to it, but I took my daughter last night to see Dog Man. Why? Because my sons are sick and they were heartbroken that they couldn't go because they've read the books and they love them.
You should have just waited.
I couldn't.
You had to see them for the podcast.
We have to do the podcast. They were so upset. I was like, we're going to have such a special time watching this movie when you guys feel better. So, Dog Man. One of the best children's movies I've seen in the last 5 years. No exaggeration. I thought it was going to be awful. Jody and I were talking to the kids, like my kids read the books, my boys, and they were saying, you could tell they're saying things they shouldn't be saying more often, making just butt jokes, fart jokes, saying dumb, stupid, all those things that you're like, kids aren't actually going to be influenced by what they're reading or watching. They are. And so we were like, man, should we have reviewed these books a little bit more? So I did some online research before we saw the movie and I was like, okay, it doesn't seem like it's that bad. It's just what I just described. But Dog Man just came out recently. Pete Davidson is in it. It's a star-studded cast.
Are you trying to sell me on this?
Isla Fisher. Is that how you say her name? Isla Fisher.
Isla. That word is Isla.
Isla Fisher?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to know that?
Because it's a common name.
Lil Ray Howery is hilarious. Ricky Gervais. I mean, star-studded cast. And I legitimately thought that it was going to be awful. And took my daughter last night and I loved it. It is so good.
Let me just ask you this. When somebody says, I've made a children's movie starring Ricky Gervais and what was the Pete Davidson?
Yeah, hilarious.
Are you thinking to yourself yeah, totally. This is going to be great.
I'm thinking at the very least that it's going to be a little bit funny. Kevin Hart, don't see his name here,
okay, maybe I'm wrong.
But maybe.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, just watching the preview, it's I would rather die than see this movie. I said it in multiple episodes. I don't want to watch that movie.
Okay, so here's the thing. You're going to watch it and you're going to watch it with your youngest kids and they're going to love it. And honestly, your older kids might love it too.
No.
It is so good for all ages. It's about this police officer who is very dumb, but is very active and good at karate and fighting and stuff. And his dog, who is very smart, can't talk. That's actually the weirdest part, is that all the other animals, literally every animal in the movie, and I'm assuming in the book, because I kind of relayed it to my kids and asked if the movie was based on the books, and it is. All the animals can talk, but Dog Man cannot. He can just bark. They get into this accident, this bomb explodes, and in order to save the life of both, they have to attach the head of the dog to the body of the police officer, and he becomes Dog Man. And his whole entire existence is to just love everyone in his life and be a great police officer. And his rival, his arch nemesis, is Petey the cat.
Sure. Petey
the cat in the movie ends up trying to clone himself, and in doing so finds out that the cloning machine makes him as a baby. And the baby starts calling him Papa. Nice. And this Lil Petey is his name, and Lil Petey is the best character by far in the movie. And he's just this beautiful, sweet soul who's very moral. And the whole movie is about Petey trying to destroy Dog Man trying to arrest Petey. Dog Man becomes friends with Lil Petey, and Lil Petey tries to basically save and redeem his father, Petey the villain.
Oh my gosh.
Buildings come to life. There's an evil fish. All of the things. But here's the thing. Legitimately, It is so fast-paced. It's funny. It does a good job of really honoring the books, comic book style editing in the movie, and wildly, wildly heartfelt. So by the end of this podcast, I will have convinced you that it's awesome.
I doubt it, but...
Well, let's start with things that you should shield from. Sure. I kind of thought there's going to be a bunch of stuff. There's not. A couple sucks, stupid, dumb insults, fart jokes, run-of-the-mill for kids, and not too many of them. It really isn't just this giant fart joke the entire time. I thought that they were pretty funny. So really nothing at all to shield from. My daughter is 5, and she's very easily scared, was never scared once. So there are some scary kind of buildings, but like, unless your kid is super sensitive, nothing to worry about there.
Scary kind of buildings.
Yeah, the buildings come to life and they move.
Sure.
But one of them's a disco building, and it just dances. Because why wouldn't it? And one of the buildings is called like apathy or something, and it comes to life to be evil, and it's like, never mind. I mean, it's just funny. Like, you would think it's funny. As far as like shepherding, okay, here's the thing. The moral of the entire movie is that everyone deserves a friend. In today's world of bullying and online bullying and all this stuff, we all know that hurt people hurt people. And this movie does a great job of showing that. It's not beating over the head with it. It does it in a very real, authentic way, where Lil Petey just sees the world as it is, as this beautiful place. And other people who are more jaded think that the world is awful. And it's an incredible thing. You can shepherd your kid through the fact that like everyone needs a friend. Everyone in your life deserves to be loved by someone. And why shouldn't that person be you? Isn't that beautiful?
That is a great message. I actually like that a lot. See,
and it gets better, okay? Because when you talk about what to share with your kid here, I think as you grow up, we have choices to make every single day, especially as adults. You can choose to be an optimistic, loving, joyful person, or you can choose to be a pessimistic, awful person who thinks that everything is always bad, right? And I think a lot of people, especially in today's world, choose the latter. But the latter, did I say that right?
Yeah.
I always love when I say that right. I never try to say the former though.
Why?
Because I think I always get that wrong.
The former is the first one.
I understand, but like when in a high pressure situation, I get it wrong.
Is this podcast a high pressure situation for you?
No, it's not. But here's the thing, right? So Lil Petey is walking in this movie, and his dad is evil and trying to make him evil. And Lil Petey's like, "Dad, look at this beautiful lake." And the dad like sees the bottle. And he's like, "It's just full of litter." And Lil Petey's like, "Daddy, look at this Papa, look at this beautiful flower." And he's like, "Those are weeds." And then at the end of the movie, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I'm sure you'll be okay. Lil Petey and his Papa are walking, and he starts to look around and notice that the world is actually beautiful, and it's okay to think that the weeds are beautiful and that the lake is pretty, even though there's a little bit of pollution, and the stars in the sky are awesome. And so they have this beautiful moment where the Papa understands that the world is better looking at it through Lil Petey's eyes, and has to convince Lil Petey, like, because Lil Petey all of a sudden has seen some evil, and he's like, maybe Papa was right, and he's like, "No, you were right." And it's this beautiful like theme in this movie that everyone deserves friends, everyone deserves love, and that if you look at the world with joy and optimism, life will be better. And what a great message to share with your kids.
All right.
Ah?
Okay. It might be all right. It's probably, I'll check it out.
It really, when you see the preview and stuff and you just think Dogman, you think Trolls and you think like the bad parts of Sonic, but it was just so good. Like, and they didn't try to do anything weird with the movie. It is just a pure, fun, good, funny, great lesson movie.
All right,
I can't wait to share it with my kids.
What age do you think is appropriate for, and what age do you think will like lose interest? Like,
I'm 90% sure that it's rated PG, which makes 0 sense. It got 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way.
Nice.
Like, who cares? But that's kind of cool. It actually got a better score than it did the audience score. But 94% of people on Google loved it. I would say if your kid can sit through a movie, take him to see it.
Okay.
And it's one that you can rewatch and have good conversations after as the years go on.
All right. So how old do you think that they'll kind of check out? Like, no longer interested in this?
No one.
No one. Okay. So if you're not following our Instagram, you need to go find ITFK podcast on Instagram, because I'm going to go take all of my kids, my 16, my 14, about to be 12, 10, and 4. And we'll do just a quick whether or not they thought it was good.
Do it. You have to. There was like a 15-year-old kid behind me that was like, who read the books clearly, and he was talking to his parents the whole time. Even my daughter thought it was awkward. Like, she like would turn around and look to see, why are these people talking in this movie? And the kid was like, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. It was awesome.
All right. Well, if people really liked this episode and wanted more content like this, where would they find it?
They will love this episode. They can go to isthisforkids.com. You do a great job on YouTube of categorizing all of our videos, so check us out on YouTube. And as you already said, Instagram, we're very active on there. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about next.
All right. Hey, there's so much content out there for us to wade through as parents.
I'm Jonathan Bearded Dogman Blevins.
Katie, MrsRuvi, Petey. I don't know.
Lil Petey.
Lil Petey. Let us help you decide.
Is this for kids?